Hello and welcome back to the letter, and a couple of things occurred. One, I'm pretty sure I've killed, Zach? If I remember correctly? Yeah, Zach. Because when I looked at the Steam achievements when I got that achievement at the end of his story, it was called Curiosity Killed the Cat. And the description was be at the wrong place at the wrong time. So there's a good chance Zach's dead. That I may potentially spoil myself slightly on how the game is going to end. Slightly, because I found a music to this game on YouTube, and I guess there's a certain scene shown throughout the video, like, what's happening with Luke? So, Luke may be very important to this whole thing, in some way. Anyways, back to possibly banging Luke. The best thing about having my condo so close to the pub is ease of access. As long as I could still stand and walk, I can make it home. And something happened. Journal? Oh, yes, it's talking about the Luke and Marianne, that's what it was. Marianne. Maybe I need help from a kind neighbor to help me with the last leg if I've ever really gone overboard on the alcohol. But I always made it home. Sometimes with company. Of course, that always comes with complications, especially with the real clingy ones. But it isn't anything a good tip about stalkers. But it isn't anything a good tip about stalkers to the building security can't fix. I'm always nervous though, even if this isn't the first time I've done this. Oh. The first few times when we enter my room, the first few agonizing minutes where I try not to panic. Okay, Mac, so far so good. Don't let him smell your fear under all that liquor courage. He'll leave sooner or later, and I'll have to see him again, just like every other man before him. I'd like to say to myself that the men I brought to my place were more scared than I was. What? Yet there's no fear when I look into Whiskey's eyes, only delight. When he starts touching me, I don't even hesitate when I push him against the door. Roughness is to be expected, what the fuck? And as long as he sticks to the script, everything will go smoothly. We'll have our little tumble in the sheets, he'll leave, we'll forget about it. If somebody asked what I really wanted, I would have told them that I wanted a bed of roses, chocolates, and music. Maybe in an Irish castle. Okay, you have some fantasy. But all I really want is her. That's never going to be a reality. Her? Who's her? That was my fault, of course. Because I was afraid. Because I was a coward. They would never hold a candle up to her. She was the light of my life. And I had to let her go. I can't even be bothered at the thought of her. Who is her? What? Just a single thought of her makes my resolve to see this affair through waiver.
Wait.
What is it now?
Yes, what is it now? What's it gonna be, Marinette? To sex or not to sex? Oh my god. No, let's just do this. This is wrong.
We're both drunk.
Oh, hot damn. Oh, did that go up? Or did that go down? Because I don't remember us ever having any increase with the Luke, because when I ever had Hannah. Holy shit, okay.
And?
This is wrong. Don't you think it's a bit fucked up that we're about to have sex and we're just calling each other by the drinks that we had? How messed up are we?
Doll, shut up with the ethics and morality talk. It is seriously putting me out of the mood.
If you want to leave now, Whiskey, I understand. I mean, with how smashed you are, it'd probably be best for you to sleep the night unless you want to be mugged.
Oh well.
But I won't stop you. And this isn't going to happen.
Bloody hell.
Really? You had to call that achievement that? Cockblocked? Of course he's annoyed at me for putting off our night of sexual congress. But no means no. That and I know he's cheating basically with this information. Sort of, I guess. I don't know. Would it really be cheating? I feel like it would be considered cheating. Even though it's just a one-night stand, basically. Anyways, and beyond spewing a few profanities under his breath, he surprisingly simmers down soon enough. I was worried for a moment that he might try to force something. Instead, he makes a show of fixing his suit and smoothing down his hair, before making himself comfortable on the nearest seat he could find.
What are you doing then? You have a guest in your home. Put the damn kettle on. Dandelion tea if you have it. But I suppose all you have are those shitty tea bags from the store.
If it isn't for the absurdity of this tournament, I would have flipped him off for thinking I have no taste. But in the end, I just laugh. All I got are cans of Korean ginseng and lemon balm, though not dandelion. Out of second thought, I do wet the tea. That's 3 minutes to get the kettle to a boil. 3 minutes where we say nothing to each other. I mean, what do you even say to the guy I was going to sleep with until I changed my mind? I doubt he's in the mood to talk about the influence of trees on Mallory. Okay. Still unusual by the time we're both seated on my bed with mugs of tea in hand.
Just so you know, whatever is going on right now is a lot stranger and fucked up than the one night stand.
Psst, okay. I don't think it's that messed up, but okay.
We are two messed up individuals by your logic.
Everything is messed up, if you ask me. War, terrorism, famine, poverty, loved ones and loved lost. Oh,
Someone's still drunk.
this whole world is a cesspool.
The dead air is telling one it fills the room once more. One would think that this is the perfect time to burst, spill out about whatever issues that made us the fucked up person that we are today. And it is. But I guess some part of me would rather not put the weight of my problem on somebody else's shoulder. It wouldn't be fair to leave that to a person when I don't even know if we'll ever see each other again. No, you'll see each other again. It's gonna be very awkward. Sooner rather than later. We both pass out on my bed, mugs left forgotten on the floor. And okay. When I wake, whiskey's already gone. Thanks to tea, Mary Ann? When did... I don't remember her ever telling Whiskey's name. Even though I know it's Luke, but it's funny calling him Whiskey. A bottle of painkillers and a note on the table are the only evidence that I wasn't alone last night. Don't even question where these are from or just how he knew my real name. I'm just grateful for something to help with the hangover. Might as well. I have a job to do. And now it's the work day when she meets him, I guess. Yep. Wait. Interesting. So it's just cups of tea and little lemons, I guess. So it isn't often that I think about drinking on the job, but after meeting with the rights today really makes me want to break my self-imposed rules. Because first off, fucking damn Whiskey was fucking damn Mr. Right. And to top it all off, they had somehow forgotten to inform me that they didn't own the Ermengarde Mansion yet when they hired me. What sort of person does that?
Ugh, rich people.
Yep. I could do nothing but twiddle my thumbs at this. However, twiddle my thumbs and wait for the go signal. Okay, so she's already went to the mansion at this point. It's not like I could accept other smaller projects. This is a big job, and I should be ready to start on it at any time. Not to mention that my PA practically begged me to be patient and wait this out. It was a hard decision to agree, but I did so in the end. Besides, I'm doing this for the Ermengarde Mansion, not for anything or anyone else. I'd have a headache whatever I do anyway. I'd go to the pub again, but seeing what happened a few days ago, I'd rather not end up in a bed with an another potential client. And it might be a huge leap in logic, but the library is the next best thing after the pub. I should go there anyway. I need more books. For Dad. Plus, I also need to return the ones I borrowed last time. Finding a new book or two to read for myself while I have nothing to do isn't such a bad idea either. So on a Saturday morning, I find myself going to the only library in Luxembourg to hopefully cool off. Wonder if we're going to get any information here. So after returning in Urzuli and a poetry book by Henry Podebrady? Podebrady? I have no clue. You can make fun of me in the comments how bad I speak English, the only language I know too. Ask the librarian about the several titles on my list, though I don't have much luck on that front. Dialogue with Death has already been snatched, and she bluntly said that she did not keep our mathematical universe for someone who didn't return books on time. Oh. I make a headway at least when I ask about Siege and Rendition of Havana by Jacob de Puziele. If you count her snarling and pointing at the history section as headway, that is. The history section is devoid of any other except for myself and a red head. Though I'd wager I guess that red's just passing by to get to the classical literature section. So many books, solo time. Scanning the books and seeing so many wonderful titles gives me great pleasure. And that's when I spot it.
Hello, sailor. Why don't you come to Mama?
History of Luxembourg Architecture? It's not the naval battle book I was looking for, no, it's even better. The newly acquired History of Luxembourg Architecture. First edition, too. I know I just have to get it. I have been waiting to get my hands on the book for so long. The fact that there is only one copy proves to be a problem, though. When Red reaches out for it the same time as I do. Who's Red?
I think I had this first, miss.
Oh, Red. Hello, Becky. I think I had... Oh wait, seriously. I forget it's not the usual visual novel. You'd think I would realize that after so long playing this now. I can only stare her down when she refuses to let go of the book. Refusing to let go of it as well, I raise a brow at her in hopes that the fact that I was significantly taller than her would intimidate the girl. Even then she refuses with a rebellious look. Well, she's a teacher, so... Of course
This isn't exactly light reading, miss. I mean, do you even know which architect was at the forefront of 18th century Irish architecture?
A beat. She blinks and I can't help the smirk on my face, which is wiped off when she opens her mouth.
Edward Lovett Pierce, who established the Palladian style through his work with Castletown House and the Irish Houses of Parliament. This bridge was destroyed in this year to delay French troops while under the regency of Mary of Guise.
Oh, someone knows their stuff. This is not what I was expecting. Let's be honest, how many people would know these history facts? Aside from me, anyway.
Going right to the obscure ones, aren't you? Easy enough. Tullybody Old Bridge in Clackmannanshire, Scotland.
Pop
On the
quiz.
January of 1560, if we want to be specific.
Suddenly, it's a game where we throw these history questions and facts at each other, back and forth, in hushed tones unless we want to be thrown out of the library. After a while, it goes from some strange competition into the strange but friendly banter, if it could be called that. But as fun as it is, the exchange soon slows down until we are grinning at how odd this whole scene is.
Marianne McCulloch, my desire for potatoes doesn't quite match what the stereotypes suggest.
Okay.
Rebecca Gales, the Scots' supposed hatred for the English wasn't enough to stop me from teaching their little spawns.
By then we had forgotten about our little tug of war, although she still holds the book in her hands. I had let go of it without realizing when she answered my first question.
History teacher, then?
Got it in one.
No wonder you gave me a run for my money. Now, if we're talking about architecture, I'd blow you out of the water. You're from where? Luxburn Uni?
Oh no, just St. Goretti's.
Yes, Saint Goretti. you'd think a school would choose a more appropriate saint to name themselves after, especially when they have very young students.
And I'm guessing you're an architect, if you're so confident about the subject.
Interior designer, Miss Gales.
Please, just call me Rebecca. You aren't one of my students, are you?
Well, that'd be a pretty damn tall student.
Marianne, then.
I could have said that I was an architect, but there's no point in explaining why I wasn't one anymore.
So, I've never seen you before. I'd like to think I've met every history aficionado in town.
I blame the rock I've been hiding under, of course. That, and I'm usually only here on the weekdays if time allows. Work often has me meeting clients on the weekends.
That must be interesting work.
It allows for some creative freedom, sure. But it's like working with children sometimes. Though you probably have it harder working with actual children.
Yep, I would imagine.
The hardest part is convincing them that your idea is their idea.
That sounds exciting.
It is!
But isn't that true for any workplace, though? We just cross our fingers and hope there aren't any man-children in charge of important things. Any big projects right now? I can't imagine that interior designing is a frequent thing.
I'm working on the Ermengarde Mansion. Lucky me. That mansion. Inta. Wonderful. Breathtaking. I can't wait to start in it. Now that is beautiful architecture.
Now the question, how's she gonna react to this? Because by now, Isabella should have already known, or already told Becky about the Ermengarde. A pause. It looks like she wants to say something at my mention of the house. I'm not surprised that place is certainly popular with the locals, especially with the urban legends attached to it. In the next second, though, she seems to think better of it, and drops what she's about to say.
So, do you have a portfolio or anything I can take a look at? I'd love to see your designs. Maybe you have some on a tablet? I've met some designers before, and they're always going crazy over these virtual room apps or another.
A tablet? Please. Callicrates didn't need those silly iTabs when he built the Parthenon. I certainly don't need one to design a house.
The computer back at my place is all I have. Why should I buy such an expensive gadget that will just get outdated within the year? When what I have is just as functional. The traditional ways and a far more personal touch. In my opinion, not to mention, those smartphones are awful tools of procrastination. I can't even count on one hand the number of people I see going outside only to have their eyes glued to the things. And fuck touchscreens, they're evil things that make typing what should have been a simple task harder.
I do have an online portfolio if you'd like. I can...
Speaking of thinking of the devil seems to have summed it. Because before I could even carry on, Rebecca's attention wanes as she pulls out her mobile. For I could only assume it's a call, she gives me an apologetic look before she could stand up and excusing herself. Farther into the aisle she goes for some privacy. I do my best to give her as well, trying to tune her out.
Belle, is something wrong?
Belle?
Lunch at the coffee house. Sure, I can make it. I'm not too far, I can be there in 10.
It's 22nd. Did she get paid? No, I don't think she's been paid yet. A pleasant lunch with Zachary. No, did she? Did we start on the 21st? We did start on the 21st. Yeah. Because they had the movie night and then she comes... Okay, so this is where that's at. So she's getting called by Isabel to go to have lunch. Without quite the surroundings, she can't blame me if I overhear snippets of her conversation. When she returns with a sheepish look on her face, I knew that our friendly chat has to be cut short.
Sorry, I have to go and meet with some friends.
It's fine. Totally fine. No need to even apologize.
About the book.
Her embarrassment increases twofold when she realizes she's still holding on to the history of Luxembourg architecture. I don't give her time to think about it as I put a hand up and shake my head. Fishing out a pen and paper from my bag along with one of my business cards, I handed them over to her.
You know, I'm busy with work, so I might not even be able to take a peek at it anytime soon. You can go ahead and have it. But you'll have to ring me up when you're returning it just so I can snag it right away. Deal?
She makes quick work, pinning her number down and handing it back to me with a grin.
Deal. Just message me during school hours, of course. You have a good day then.
You too.
With Rebecca gone, I'm left alone standing in the history section. Although my original plan was simply to sit down and read the book, our little pop quiz, if you could call it that, made the time pass without any of us even realizing it. It was fun. I do believe I made a new friend. Good job, Marinette. Even with the talk of lunch, however, I don't feel like grabbing a bite to eat. There's still other books to be read here, and I'm hoping to find something that will help me while I work with the rights. Something like how to deal with the Arsholes Professional 101, just in case. I've dealt with a lot of uppity, snooty, rich clients before, but it's still better to be safe than sorry. Because Luke Wright... hold on, give me a second. I just had to move the screen a little bit higher, because I'm like, I should be focused on the camera a bit more. Because I'm always looking down to read. Because Luke Wright was just a fucking cake. And he probably managed to eat it too. Okay? Seems the world is conspiring to keep me from my me time. As my mobile vibrates, my pockets in the moment find something from the shelves of the classical literature section.
Marianne McCulloch, Charlie Rose Design speaking.
Rose?
Rose Cooper here, Miss McCullough. I hope I didn't catch you at a bad time or anything.
No, she's still alive at this point, okay.
But I just wanted to check in and tell you that we've got the clear to hand over the documents. Madam Wright told us that we should forward the floor plans to you.
Already? How did they get through the process so fast? Surely there is so many red tape to even acquire the forms and then transferring rights. No matter how rich the rights are, it shouldn't be this quick, right?
So, if I can just have your email, I'll be sending them your way.
I'd actually like a physical copy of the floor plans.
Oh, I suppose that's fine. I'm not at the office right now, but I can inform Miss Santos of your request.
I'll make sure to drop by the office after lunch if that's fine.
Not a problem. Right. Well, cheers.
Right. Cheers.
I don't know. I just don't. What's our relationship with Isabel? Okay, it was just neutral, basically. Wonder what would make Zachary and Ashton so unlike with her if we ever meet. Rebecca's friendly, so... is there some sort of deeper miscommunication when we last met? These things take time. It's been, what, a day? Less than that, even. There isn't even a point in trying to make sense of these people who seem to be larger than life. Oh, okay. Journal. Sure. Okay, I'll just pretend that didn't happen. Okay. As it looks like I'm on the clock starting today, I might as well eat. Grabbing some fish and chips from one of the street food stalls, I find a table to spend time with a copy of Marcus de Sades' Crime of Love. Since Rebecca left with the book I wanted, I've read this one before along with the rest of his work. This would be the 18th time, in fact. It's always nice to read through it again, when I don't have the time to enjoy something new. Besides, when you're dealing with people so filthy rich that they just end up plain filthy, you need the good old Marcus sound advice.
La blessure se trouvant sans aucune sorte de conséquence.
Something about the consequence? The wound being without any consequence. Of course, it's folly to think that things have no consequence when eventually actually does. Briar Reality Corporation Luxembourg branch isn't too far off from the city center? Just a few blocks away, and I can easily eat and walk. I'd rather use the time to rest before I go into a flurry of activity, no doubt. There'll be so much to do once we get hands-on with the mansion.
Still a lot better than working on another condo, at least.
surely no matter how much BRC the old owner has put into the restoration and preservation place, any big repairs would be superficial at most. Quite certain that in their haste to sell the property, they did rush a job. It isn't an infrequent thing to do despite how it is frowned upon. There'll be a lot of hidden issues that I will need to weed out, and I have to make sure I find every single one, especially the more serious damages. Structural integrity is definitely on top of the list we'll have to consider. The building might look sturdy, but it is centuries old. That alone will likely pose a few problems here and there, put limitations on what we can do. Besides, despite how much I detest these rich snobs, they get paid rather handsomely so long as I do an excellent job and do more than necessary. Those two things always make sure the referrals keep coming. I don't even have to hunt down projects for myself. When I do go up to BRC's office, I can't help but stop and stare when I enter the building. The lunch hour closing, employees should have been back already if they still aren't filtering through the doors. I get that Saturday that people probably feel tired and lazy to be working on a weekend. But they're still on the clock and not bumming about wasting company time on extended lunch breaks and cigarette sessions. The office is spacious. As it's with these big corporations, each person is given their little space of what's usually 2x2 meter cubicle. There's a lot more empty chairs than there are actual people working at their desk. It reminds me far too much of my last day at Prozakova Projects during the massive layoffs due to the Irish economic crisis. But it isn't just that, though. Everything is as quiet as a grave. It's as if these people are merely ghosts. Oh, I can't check the freaking server. Hold on. Give me a second. I have no clue. I'm just saving randomly at this point. Let me just hold on. Can I fix the journal? Nothing new there. Journal, there we go. Jesus Christ. Okay, so that's updated. So that was weird. Hold on. Damn, this went by so fast. When was this? They had lunch. So that's a ghost. Would it be over? No. Because on the 24th is when this occurred. Why is she so freaked out? Speaking of ghosts, Santos comes in through the door looking as if she's seen one. She looks at me, wide-eyed like a deer caught in the headlights, ready to bolt at any moment. I'd ask out of concern, but I feel if it's not my position to do so. If it's something personal, I'd simply be overstepping my boundaries. Really, it's not my business.
I presume that Miss Cooper told you why I'm here, Miss Santos?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I just got back from lunch, you know?
Okay, so after that, she's still freaked out about it. Because when we played her, we just went home directly after that event.
But
So
it
this
won't
is
take
in
too
between.
long. Don't worry.
Of course it won't. This whole project has established itself to be a matter done in haste. I do hope it doesn't mean that people are being careless in their duties.
I don't like her attitude, but okay. She flinches and looks like she doesn't quite know how to respond to that. Thankfully, instead of opening her mouth, she leads the way towards her station and goes to fetch the floor plans. It won't take too long, as she said, but it does take a bit. Time spent to compose herself, most likely.
No, we usually just email these things.
I prefer the real thing.
Not that you would know. You probably have your nose stuck in front of a smartphone when you're not working. And even when you should be working, playing those mindless, addictive games. Says the person who plays D&D, but whatever. I definitely wish Chris would stop playing that bat cat thingy during work hours.
I know what you mean. Digital painting is nice, but nothing beats the smell of real paint.
Oh, okay.
Not that I go and smell paint like a crazy person, but, you know, the real thing is different.
Wait, what?
Yes, nothing is quite like the real thing.
Checking out the floor plan, I see that I'll have a lot going for me. It's only 2 floors, okay. Now I know how Ray felt when he found the Central Park West building floor plans from the one movie. This is why I became an architect in the first place. Jacob Bean style at its finest, it's a thing of beauty. Look at these gorgeous rooms, the delicate harmony between empty spaces. Speaking of empty spaces, there's something rather odd about this one.
I feel a bit silly saying it out loud because I've never lived in a big house, let alone a mansion. But during the tour, I had the distinct impression that the rooms were bigger. Maybe the scale is wrong? It's not much of a problem, and it is an old house.
There have been little details here and there that I would have little to address during the open house too, but it was all forgotten in the wake of Miss Santos' incident and the trouble with ownership. Wine cellar is going to be a problem. I shudder to think what sort of repairs they did to the place. There might have been things that were swept under the rug, pushed to the dark corner of the rooms, and hidden away in barrels. Water damage could have been covered up. There have been floods due to heavy rains in the West England just last year, after all. And if there is any sort of damage to the house foundation, that's going to be a lot of work. I was not able to look at the attic as well. For all I know, a whole family of vermin could have made their nest there. Working with pest control is always the worst. The sheer size of this place is staggering, even if I did just say it was a lot smaller than I thought. It might just be biting off more than I could chew, but who doesn't like a good challenge? First things first, I'll have to...
So, do you want a coffee? The one from the staff room is pretty decent.
There's really no need. I'm sure you have rules against it.
Rules against bringing someone coffee? That's ridiculous. And even if there were regulations against it, nobody's really here to tell Sir John. I've already brought 2 mugs, and I'm not going to drink them on my own. Come on.
I have to stamp down my annoyance at being distracted. Seeing the girl, the young woman though, it looks like she has a lot on her mind. If babbling is her way of dealing with stray thoughts, I'm not really the one she should be babbling to. How should I respond? Well, I'm going to do that in the next part. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like and open button. If you want to see more of what will happen next, hit the subscribe or follow button to be notified. Got anything to say some in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Comrades.